a low moisture wash. We are getting ready, Ivan LaCroix, for the car show.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today we have this beautiful 1951 GMC that is in great shape. It looks clean. Up close, it's got a bit of dirt on it here and there. So we're gonna give it a very low moisture wash. These classic cars, we don't wanna be hitting this with a pressure washer. Yes, the seals have been restored, but even new, back in 51, they weren't exactly that tight. So we need to make sure that we're not getting water in everywhere where we don't want it to be. Now, we will be using the pressure washer, we will be using a hose on the wheels, but for the rest of the vehicle, we just need rinseless wash.
You've always had classic cars, you want to really keep the moisture low.
Right.
Why is that? The seams you were mentioning?
The seams, also, they tend to accumulate moisture in places that we don't think of. Now, this one doesn't have many moldings, but if you look at a classic vehicle that has that beautiful chrome molding down the side, that chrome molding is not held on with double-sided tape like new cars. No, it's held on with clips and holes. And each one of those little holes, water can get in behind.
So where do we start?
Well, we'll start by pre-spraying. So we're gonna be applying the rinseless wash to the surface, making sure that it's nice and damp. We're not going for wet, just nice and damp.
And we have a garden sprayer here.
Yeah, that works beautifully. You could use a keg, you could use a spray bottle, anything you want. You're just wanting to get it on the surface.
And you're also gonna attack wheels at the same time? Not attack, but you're gonna do that while I do this?
Exactly.
All right, so I'm just getting the rinseless wash on the surface here.
Yep. In our bucket, we've got 3 gallons of water. So we'll add 3 capfuls of rinseless wash. That's all we need.
If folks have never used rinseless wash before, what's the whole idea behind this solution?
It is a polymer surfactant mix that encapsulates the dirt. It gives it a nice hug and separates it from the surface in a zwitterionic way. And zwitterionic is a term that means neither negative nor positive. So it's lifting the dirt off, like when you're kids playing with the magnets and you try to put the 2 north poles together and they never quite go together. That's what's happening here. It's lifting off the dirt. Now it's not lifting it off a 1/4 inch, it's just off the surface. And when we go to wipe with the sponge, it goes into the sponge, taking the dirt with it. Admittedly, this vehicle was not that dirty. Show cars normally aren't. Now, the wheels, on the other hand, the white walls, we're looking a little beige. And that we're gonna give them a bit of a scrub, but we're gonna rinse them off first, apply more all clean, and do the wheels. The rinseless wash, it can even dry in the surface, it's not a problem. We're in a controlled environment, obviously, it's not going to dry. And if you're working out in direct sunlight, which you should try to avoid, but if you have no choice, do 1/2 of the vehicle and then the other half.
So when you talk about rinsing the wheels off, we teach a kind of a foam rinse foam for a lot of our videos, or chemical rinse chemical. So if you're gonna use a hose, usually you apply a product, you rinse it, you apply it again. That's the concept here. Are you thinking garden hose or are you thinking pressure washer?
We'll use a garden hose today. Detailers today have an obsession with cleaning wheel barrels. If we wanted to clean the barrels of these wheels, we'd have to take them off the truck.
So we're gonna do one more application of all clean. We really wanna work on these white walls, Ivan. The concept here, again, is redundancy. Why are we doing one more foaming of all clean?
We wanna have lubrication on the surface. Water is not a lubricant.
It's a solvent, not a lubricant.
So we want a cleaner and a lubricant.
And that's satisfying. Foam is fun.
This is a brush you don't see us use often on the channel because it looks new. But the white walls, we want a little more stiffness to clean those up. So that's why we're using this type of brush.
Ivan, tell me about white walls.
Tires, when they first came about, were actually white until they started adding a dye to the rubber. So that's actually the natural color of the tire.
Really?
Yeah. Now, white walls like this, they're cast in two separate molds, or they're cast in the same mold, but they put the white in first and then they put the black rubber in afterwards when they're building the tire. When we used to have white stripes or white walls, some of them were actually painted white, and you can buy paint. Now, there's a product on the market, we don't sell it. It's sort of hard to find these days, but it's called bleach white. And back in the day, it's a bleach derivative used for cleaning up the white walls. It makes them nice, sparkling white. It's sort of hard on the tire, but at the same time, if you're going to a show, you want to win the show, you want those white walls to be bright white, that's what you need to use. You've seen the Michelin Man, right?
Yes, I have.
Michelin Man was actually taken from an exposition back in the 1800s where they stacked tires to look like the Michelin Man.
Okay.
So those tires were white tires.
They were all white.
That's why he's white.
Didn't know that. Okay, Ivan, so we've done the wheels.
Yeah.
We haven't done the body yet.
Wheels and tires are done. Now it's time to do the body. We don't need to rinse. So we're not doing rinse chemical this time. There was, like we say, just a bit of dust on the surface. So it's safe to use the sponge the way it is.
Who would benefit from knowing this method even if they don't have a car show car?
Someone that cleans their car often. Someone that just goes out for the weekend or a Saturday afternoon, takes a drive in their fun car, puts it back in the garage. Before putting the cover on it, if you're using a cover, wash it before putting the cover on. You don't want to put a cover on a dusty car. If you put a cover on a dusty car, then you have the problem of that dust works in with little vibrations of the cover moving around, especially if it's outside. So in this case, it's just a relatively clean car that you want to make cleaner.
Okay, let's do that.
Yep.
There's the classic question, Ivan, of where do I start?
Top down. But in your case, you could start at the back of the bed, work your way forward. By that time, I'll have done the top of the cab on my side, and we can trade off ladders.
Are you washing this classic car with a sponge, Ivan LaCroix?
Yes, I am.
How could that be safe?
The sponge is actually designed to do this. It's engineered to clean with Rinseless Wash.
There are a lot of unique components on here. The license plate and the lights and the bumper, it's just all different, you know?
Yep. Now in some areas, there's a bit of wax residue. So the Rinseless is actually doing a good job of lifting that off. Now that the roof is done, I don't need the ladder anymore. So like we always do, dunk the sponge, wash a section. And just keep moving along. And you can see exactly where you've been with Rinseless Wash, which is one of its nice attributes. So I purposely left a section on this fender undone. So you see I've gone over it with a sponge here, but I left this line undone. And when we do it, now we have even coverage everywhere.
Ivan, do you feel like doing an older car makes you feel older?
Not really, it makes me feel younger. Brings me back to memories of my youth.
You weren't alive when this car was built?
No, but there was still some on the road when I was a kid.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you have memories of a truck like this, put it down in the comments. Let us know what your memory of a beautiful old truck like this is. Now around the hood emblem, there was a bit of wax residue, so I'm just gonna use my sponge to keep a flow of Rinseless Wash going over the emblem while I brush, so I have that lubrication. To work that wax residue out of there. This is a nice soft boar's hair brush. There we go.
Yeah, you can actually tell where I've been and where I haven't been. There's all these beads here, and there's these streaks here. So I actually washed this front fender. You can see this line right here, and then this is the rinseless on the surface. So if you're like me and you kind of forget where you've been, Ivan's so meticulous, he does everything in a certain way. I try to do that and then I lose track. I can tell that I haven't washed this because there's straight beads here. I know I've washed that, so at least I'm not doing anything twice, all right? For the efficiency, you know, sticklers out there, at least I know where I've been, Ivan.
Yeah.
It's worth noting, Ivan, that when we're using the Legacy sponge, we're not putting any pressure on the paint. There's always a tendency to push down and try to get more work done with less, you know, swipes. Yeah. That's not the way we wash.
No, exactly. There's no need to put that pressure on there. Now there's a couple areas, again, where we have a bit of wax. So I'm just gonna get those areas before we start drying. There's a little wax right in there. So getting it nice and wet to give the brush some lubrication. The final stage, always drying. Now, we are not using a drying aid on this. Could we? Yes, but we'll be polishing and coating, and if you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll be able to see that video coming up shortly. But the Rinseless is its own drying aid and drying lubricant.
How do you shift? This is not a stick, or does it stick?
Yeah, it's a 3 on the tree.
3 on the tree.
Yeah.
Is that before my time?
Very much so.
Okay.
So that arm sticking out of the column, that's the shifter.
Okay. So Ivan, where do we start drying? What's your philosophy there?
Wherever you can reach.
All right.
There's no real philosophy to drying. It's just getting it dry. Now, if the vehicle were very wet, you'd start with the top. But since Nick has the platform over there, we'll let him start and then bring the platform over to this side afterwards.
Can do. You've always been a fan of a platform versus just stepping all over a vehicle. I think that's a very good idea with the show car, but a lot of people want to step on the wheels of trucks to get hoods, and they want to step all over the vehicle just to dry.
Yeah.
Why do you always recommend a platform or a step ladder or whatever versus just stepping all over a vehicle?
It's much safer, first of all. Secondly, you have no risk of damaging the vehicle, or a much lower risk, and less risk of slipping. That wet tire that you just washed might be a little slippery.
So it's worth the investment for the person at home?
Oh, definitely. And you might have a little ladder at home. You just need something to get up into the air. These trucks are known as fat fendered trucks for their nice bubbleless fenders, and they're such a treat to clean.
They really are.
Treat to look at as well.
I mean, it seems just about perfect to me, Ivan, but I don't think we're done yet, are we?
No, there will be a bit of polishing involved, and of course some coating.
You can coat a classic car?
You can coat any vehicle, and every vehicle deserves it, but something as beautiful as this definitely deserves it. So this, in the industry, these are known as a 5-windowed truck because of those little windows at the back. So in the cab corners, made visibility a lot better. It just gives it a really cool look.
Yeah, there's windows everywhere.
Yeah. So unlike today's truck with the big pillars and all that, this you actually have great visibility. And unlike today's trucks, in the bed, we actually have wood. And this is the way it was. These strips are held down with the carriage bolts, From underneath, you can lift the bolts, replace the wood anytime your wood starts to rot.
Huh.
So this is how it was from the factory.
It's a nice look, Ivan.
Yeah. You know, back in the day, these were utilitarian vehicles. They're not something that people bought to drive around in. You had a truck because you needed a truck.
Wait, isn't that the way it is now?
Yeah, not really. Today's trucks have become yesterday's station wagons.
Okay, the benefit of a low moisture wash is drying is a breeze. You're not getting a million drips out of every mirror and nook and crevice.
Yep.
It goes quickly as well, Ivan.
It's quick, it's efficient, it's fun, and you get great results.
The reality is though, if you have any doubt, if your vehicle appears to be quite dirty, always use the hose. When in doubt, pull the hose out, as they say. I don't know if they say that, but they should.
If you have, you know, in your brain you're going, do I need the hose? Yes, you do.
Yeah. But when it's literally clean, or just a little dusty.
Yeah.
And we could have breezed through this a little bit faster. We're taking our sweet time. We're like savoring the vehicle.
Yeah.
We're looking into the paint. We're really enjoying the process, which is kind of what detailing is about. There's times when you want to crank it out and get it done fast. There's other times where you want more time in the garage. You're enjoying the escape from whatever it is detailing provides that relief from. It's very meditative.
And this vehicle is one that you just want to look and take in all the little details, and
100%.
they're a fun vehicle to drive, fun vehicle to look at, fun vehicle to wash.
Okay, Ivan, I'm gonna dry down the door jams and perhaps we could send the viewers on their merry way.
Right, you might want to watch the video that's right above the truck here.